the x there to give us that value. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to need to remember some of the things I've learned in previous lessons to start to simplify this. And really, this is going to be solving a multi-step equation with variables on both sides. So the first thing I need to remember is the distributive property to distribute this here. So I have 5 times 2x minus 5 times 1. And 15 times x, I'm just going to write as 15x. I know that. So I have 10x minus 5 equals 15x. And I need to get x by itself here. So I'm going to need to subtract this 10x. Move all my x's over here. So I have negative 5 equals 15 minus 10 is 5x. So x is going to equal negative 1 because positive times a negative will give me a negative, and 5 times 1 is 5. So I get a negative 1. So just to go back up here and verify, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 1 would be a negative 3 over 15, and I have a negative 1 and negative 3 over 15, negative 1 over 5. They simplified to negative 1/5 on both sides, so it does check out. Definitely some work involved in getting this value for x here, but as you can see, if just following the steps and working on everything that we've built up to this point, it gets me there in no time. So there I have it. Let's take a look here at some percentage problems, just getting them set up. So if the problem says 25 is what percent of 100? Well, 25 out of 100 is what percent out of 100? Well, it would be 25%. What number is 25% of 100? So what number out of 100 is 25%? So 25% is just 25 out of 100. And 4 is 25%. So 25 out of 100, 25% of what number? So 4 over what is equal to 25 out of 100. You'll notice I'm always putting these out of 100. So 25 is what percent of 100? So this is that percent I'm looking for here. It's that unknown percent. What number is 25% of 100? So that's the total. That 100 is my total here. Just like it's percent of 100. So there's my total again there. And then 4 is what percent, or out of a total, is 25%. So there's that 25% out of 100% that I'm looking for there. So, and I would just cross multiply these again and say that 25x is equal to 4 times 100, or 25x equals 400, and x is going to be, well, 25 goes into 104, and I've got 4 of those, so 16. So 4 is 25% of 16. So let's take a look at some examples here. So I have some contextual problems. I've got 3 or 4 examples here we're going to go through and set these up for proportions and solve for our unknown amounts. So if I have Miss Ira has 400 books on 10 shelves in her bookcase, she wants to add 4 more shelves. How many books will she have now? So I really have this relationship of books to shelves. So I'm talking books on shelves. Well, what do I know versus what am I trying to find? Well, so I'm going to set up what I know, and I'm going to set that equal to what I'm trying to find. And I need to really make sure that I keep this relationship I've set up here equivalent on both sides of my equal sign. So what do I know? I know 400 books on 10 shelves. And I know that's going to be equal to, well, what do I know? Do I know books or do I know shelves? I know shelves, so I know 4 shelves. And I don't know the number of books. So that's what I'm going to have to find. So I've set up my proportion now, and I need to solve this. So I'm going to cross multiply. 10 times x is 10x. 400 times 4 on this side. So I have 10x equals 400 times 4 is 1600. And divide both sides by 10. And x equals Just kind of get rid of one of those zeros, and x equals 160 books. Always want to make sure I can do that. And does that make sense? Let's see here. So 400 books on 10 shelves, and I'm just adding 4 more. So 4 is about half of that, but a little bit less. So half of this would be 200, and is 160 a little bit less? Yeah, so I think our answer makes sense, and I could verify it, and 400 divided by 10 would be 40 on a shelf, and 40 times 4 is 160. So yeah, so that works out great. Let's take a look at another problem here. So the circle graph below shows the results of a survey in which students were asked what their favorite subject is in school between math and all other subjects. Of those surveyed, 75 said yes about how many were surveyed. So I guess 75 said yes about math being their favorite. So I know that we have this proportion here. We want to know how many were surveyed. So we're looking for a total. Total surveyed. We only know the number that said yes. So I need to set up my math out of total is what I'm really going to be, my relationship I'm going to be setting up. So what do I know is equal to what I'm trying to find. So what do I know? Well, I know that 66% or 66 people out of 100 said they would have liked math. And what am I trying to find? Well, I'm trying to find the number 75 said yes about how many were surveyed. So I'm trying to find this total. So my total is my unknown. So my x is my total. But I know that 75 said they like math. Just like 66% said they like math out of 100% total. So percents are always out of 100. And if I'm trying to solve this, I'm going to just do my cross multiplying. And I get 66x equals 75 times 100. So 66x equals 7,500. I'm going to divide both sides by 66. And this number is not going to be very nice. So in fact, what I'm going to do is just bring up my calculator to kind of help me with this one, because this is really a big number here. So 7,500 divided by 66 will give me an answer of, whoa, 113.63 repeating. So I know it's 113.6 something. So of those surveyed, about how many were surveyed? So I would say about 113 people were surveyed. Can't really have a 0.63 of a person. So we're just looking for about, so that tells me that a rounding. So 113, 114, 113 people were surveyed. So so there we have it. Let's take a look here at our next problem. So example 6, Zia Records has 140,210 CDs on 525 equally sized shelves. If they plan on adding 20 more shelves of the same size, how many more CDs will they be able to hold? So I have this relationship of CDs on shelves. So that's my relationship, CDs on shelves. I'm kind of picturing this in my head already. So what do I know equal to what I'm trying to find? So what do I know? I know 140,210 CDs on 525 shelves is equal to, and I know shelves, so I know the 20 more shelves, oops, so just shelves, and I'm trying to find some X number of CDs. So I've got my proportions set up here. I'm just going to kind of do my cross multiplying to get my answers. So 525 times X is going to equal 140,210 times 20. So 525x is equal to, once again, I might want to just bring up that calculator. So I know this is going to be 280, 420, add another 0, I believe. So let me just verify that. Where's my calculator? There it is. Oops, lost it. So let me just scroll down a little bit here. So clear this out. Let's take a look. 140 to 10 times 20. Sure enough, is 2804200. So I have that correctly. I'm going to divide both sides by 525. So x equals, so I need to divide that by 525. And I get 5,341.3 repeating. But the question said, how many more CDs will they be able to hold? Can I hold a third of a CD? No, so that's not going to be part of my answer. So my answer is that I can hold 5,341 more CDs is the answer that I'm looking for there. Okay, why don't you try example number 7. Please pause at this time and set up your proportion, solve for the unknown, and I'll check in with you momentarily. Okay, hopefully you've had enough time to try it on your own and you were successful. So we're looking at 40 students at Independence High School were asked, are you in favor of the new dress code? The following table shows the results. So number of students, 10 said yes, 27 said no, 3 said, nah, I don't care. There are 2,000 students at Greenway. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I guess that's a typo. That really should say Independence. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a problem for you there. Able to see that. Use the data in the table to predict how many students would agree with the dress code. So we're looking for this relationship of we're looking for how many agree. So we're looking at the number of people who say yes to the dress code out of a total. So what do I know? And I'm going to set that equal to what I'm trying to find. So what do I know? How many said yes? I know that 10 people said yes. I have 10 yeses. Out of how many people total were in this survey? Well, it tells me 40. So I could have seen that, or I could have just added these up. 27 and 3 makes 30, plus 10 is 40. So out of 40 total in my survey. And what I'm trying to find, well, I know there are 2,000 students total. And I'm trying to find the number that said yes. So I don't know how many said yes. So that's what I'm trying to find. So I'm going to do a little cross multiplying here. I got 40x equals 20,000. Divide both sides by 40. So x equals, should be 500 students. Who said yes. So out of 2,000 total students, 500 would have said yes, that they agree with the dress code. Let's see, does that make sense? So almost, we had 40 students, 27, so more than half, said no, I don't agree with that. So we know that 10 is much less than half. In fact, it's half of half, so half of 40 is 20. Half of that is 10, so half of 2,000 is 1,000, and half of that is 500. So does our answer verify? Yes, it does. That is the end of our lesson today. So if you could please make sure that you complete or watch the remaining videos, complete the homework assignment, and email or communicate with your teacher any questions that you have regarding today's lesson prior to doing the quiz for this lesson would be greatly appreciated. And thank you for your time.